Let's do it. All right. Welcome back to the Housing Hangout. We talk about anything and everything real estate and lending related. My name is Mark with B Realty Texas, Dallas. And I'm joined by my co-host, Sam Gabay, Merit Lending.
I'm on location in Vancouver, Canada. As Mark mentioned, you're going to hear a little background noise, so I excuse that. By the way, at the end of this video, we're going to show you some real estate-related immigration videos, which you must see.
So today's episode is called Beyond Borders: Immigrants Changing the American Real Estate Landscape. Now, I know for a fact that this topic can be sometimes controversial, but this definitely hits home for you and I, Sam. My parents both immigrated here to the United States, and my first language was actually Portuguese. And Sam, you are an immigrant of Canada. So this is something that we are pretty familiar with, and this has been part of our family landscape
Now
all
American.
of our lives.
Now American, by the way.
Yes, proud to be American. So we're going to be talking about legal immigration and what exactly you need to do, some of the loan products that are out there for you. Sam's going to help us with that. I think the very first thing that we need to talk about is if you are an immigrant and you're coming into this country and you want to buy property, you have to verify your residency. Now, there are several different types of residency statuses or immigration statuses here in this country. The first one that we probably hear about a lot is green card holders or lawful permanent residences. Now, if you have a green card, you are absolutely able to buy a property here in the United States. And Sam, can you expand on that a little bit?
Right. So there's no variance there between a U.S. citizen and a green card holder. If you have a valid green card, you are able to get a conventional loan. You are able to get an FHA loan. I mean, I cannot think of a single loan product that you will not qualify for, and your terms will be exactly the same as everybody else. So green card holders have nothing to fear. They are fully 100% eligible to buy a home.
Okay, cool. Now, if you're a green card holder, does the interest rate change at all for them? What are some of the things that they need to provide a lender, Sam?
I mean, they're going to ask you for the front and back of your green card, but other than that, your income qualifications, your interest rate, everything's going to be exactly the same as everybody else. There's no change.
Green card holders, live the American dream. Let's get you a house.
Absolutely.
So that's the most common that I hear is, I have a green card, I'd like to buy a house, not a problem. The second type of immigration status is a non-permanent resident. Okay, a non-permanent resident can live and work here in the United States for a set period of time, and it's determined by their specific visa types. So Sam, non-permanent residents, depending on their visa, whether they are an E series, G series, H series, or an L series, does it matter whatsoever?
It does matter. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are going to have lists of visa types that they accept. They're not going to accept all, but they do accept quite a few. So when you come and apply for a loan, you're going to want to let your loan officer know that you're here on a visa and make sure that they look that up right up front. There's even some visa types that Fannie Mae will accept, but Freddie Mac won't, right? Now, if, for example, they don't, there will be other investors out there called like non-QM, non-qualifying mortgage lenders, who may accept that visa type if Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac don't. But you want to be upfront about that right away because you don't want that to hinder you during the loan process. You want to get that out of the way right in the beginning.
Sam, is there any limit on the amount of time? So let's say you have a work visa and you're only here for, let's say, 6 months.
I mean, you're not going to get a visa that says you're going to stay 30 years. So that's not going to be, you're not going to be able to present that. But the lender is going to want to know that you're going to have the ability to renew the visa when your visa comes due for expiration. They might also ask you for a chain of having renewed your visa in the past.
So how does this even work, though? So for instance, like here, for me, I had to provide 2 years of tax returns. If you come in here on a work visa, is the bank not asking for any documentation for prior,
Oh, absolutely.
Tax returns? Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally separate from your immigration status. So, I mean, the loan process goes over many variations. First they qualify the home, make sure that there's proper equity. They're going to want to make sure that your immigration status is such that, like I said, you are able to renew your visa when the time comes, or you have a history of renewing your visa. But then you're going to have to qualify based on income like everybody else, right? So depending on what kind of loan you're doing, full doc or bank statement or whatever, you're going to have to provide income documentation like everybody else. Just because you just got a visa doesn't necessarily mean you qualify for a loan right away. You still need to be able to prove that you can repay that loan.
DACA is essentially a program for when kids came to this country, obviously against their will. They came here with their parents or relatives or friends or whatever it is, and they grew up in this country. So, Sam, to a lot of these, these kids now adults, this is their country. They don't know any different.
Absolutely.
A lot of them don't even speak the language of their national country because they came here when they were little tiny babies.
Right.
I mean, what's your take on it from a lender? I mean,
look,
what do they say?
From a personal standpoint, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a minute. I don't like the current status of our immigration, what's happening at the border. I mean, I think like most of us, especially those of us like me and my wife who had to jump through all the hoops to get legal status, I mean, we think at the very least you should be checking their ID and making sure they're not criminals and have the ability to work. And that's really not a high bar, but we're not even doing that. However, when it comes to DACA, I mean, these are little kids that didn't ask for anything. They were brought here. They grew up here. I think
they went to school here.
Right, they went to school here. This is essentially their country. I think that kicking the can down the road on DACA is a little bit foul. Now, when you are DACA, you're going to get a DACA card. It's similar to a permanent resident card, although it doesn't give you all the rights of a permanent residency card. It does give you the right to finance a car and purchase a home. Okay, so you can purchase a home through Fannie Mae. Freddie Mac, for some reason, doesn't allow DACA, and I think that's ridiculous. But Fannie Mae does. So if you're looking for an FHA or conventional loan and you happen to be DACA, you can get those loans.
Now, Sam, being from Texas, we hear about a lot of people coming up through the southern border and claiming asylum. And what that is it's immigrants who come to the U.S. seeking protection from prosecution from their homeland because of their race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or memberships in a particular social group. Now, Sam, have you had to deal with any asylum seekers? And is this something that any lender would even remotely think about?
Well, I mean, look, during your asylum process, first of all, some people truly need asylum, okay? And I think we should grant asylum to people who truly need it. But the process is highly abused, and I would probably say that 99% of the people who come here on an asylum claim are bogus claims. But that being said, you're going to claim asylum. During that process, at some point, you're going to get a visa. Okay, and then we go back to what I said in the beginning. You're going to want to present that visa to your loan officer and make sure that visa type is acceptable for a loan. Then there are people who are just here. Maybe they have plans of claiming asylum. Maybe they just
the gotaways.
Right. Maybe they just started the process of claiming asylum. Maybe they did absolutely nothing. Okay, and they're going to have what's called an ITIN number. Now, an ITIN number has absolutely nothing to do with immigration. Zero. Okay, all an ITIN number means that you asked the IRS for like a taxpayer ID. That's all it is. Now, some lenders have found a way to replace needing a social security number with an ITIN number. Okay, so to get those loans, and there are a lot of different loan products out there for ITIN people. Okay. You're going to hear down payment assistance for ITIN people. You're going to hear 5% down for ITIN people. You're going to hear 10% down for ITIN people. In my experience, most of those low down payment loans for ITIN people are almost impossible to get. You're going to get conditioned through the wazoo. It's going to be really hard to qualify for that loan. The standard ITIN loan needs 20% down. Okay, you need 20% down. You need a 12-month address history, so you've got to be able to prove that you've been paying your rent for the last 12 months. And you're going to need 2 to 3 trade lines on your credit, 2 trade lines for 24 months or 3 trade lines for 12 months. So you need to prove your residency, you need to prove that you have credit, and you're going to need 20% down. Okay, and if you have those 3 things, then you will qualify for what's called an ITIN loan. Now, whether you think that's a product that should exist or not is another topic, but that loan does exist, and that's how you qualify for it.
So when you're going through and sifting through people's, green cards and residency cards and visas and all that stuff, is criminal records ever something taken into consideration for any of this?
Not for anyone ever. Not for anyone ever.
What?
No. We don't do a criminal background check on people when they apply for a loan. We don't do that. Not for you, not for me, not for Bob, not for Jose, not for anyone.
For me, yeah. I'm a U.S. citizen.
People, right, but
they know who I am.
But it's not for us to speculate whether you're here illegally or not. I mean, that's not our job, right? We're here to facilitate loans. Here's the product. It requires a foreign ID, 20%, trade lines, address history. That's it, you know? So,
All right.
yeah.
It doesn't matter what your immigration status is. More often than not, there is a loan product for you. You're going to want to disclose, if you're trying to buy a house, though, you're going to want to disclose your immigration status immediately to your real estate agent and to your lender. They'll find the right loan product for you, and they'll work with you in getting pre-qualified. Now,
the worst thing you can do is try and hide your status or be shady about it, because you're just causing yourself grief during the loan process. Tell us up front so we know how to structure your loan right in the beginning.
Yeah, and this is something that Sam and I do all the time.
President Joe Biden is expected to unveil a new plan today that eventually clears a pathway to U.S. citizenship for 500,000 immigrants.
The second executive action would streamline access to work visas for some undocumented immigrants, including those brought to the U.S. as children who are now adults, also known as dreamers.
Okay, so this was all over the news lately. Apparently, Joe Biden wrote some executive orders. Like, not to get political with you, Mark, but some of these executive orders to me are just laws that already existed. With a Dreamer card, you have a social and you have access to work and you have access to home loans, which is what is relevant to our program, right?
I don't think anything changes because, like we talked about before, there's several options for your different immigration statuses, right?
All right, so this next video is about a down payment assistance program in California put on by the state, where they're now trying to allow people that we were referring to before as ITIN holders to have access to the state money to purchase a home. Let's check it out.
Proposed bill working its way through Sacramento could make it easier for undocumented immigrants to purchase a home in California. It's called AB 1840.
AB 1840 adds specific wording to the California Dream for All program, which is the state's down payment assistance program. The wording would make undocumented immigrants able to apply for this money. The bill says that applicants of the state's Dream for All program should not be disqualified based on their immigration status. The Dream for All program is a down payment assistance program for low to moderate income aspiring homeowners. Those selected get a 20% down payment on a home that has to be paid back plus interest if the homeowner sells it.
Okay, so 20%. I mean, that's really the kicker for me. Now, if you come to me right now and you ask me for down payment assistance, I don't have a program that's going to offer you 20% of state or federal money. I just don't have that. Okay, you're going to get 3 to 3.5%, or the UWM Zero Down program. But 20% is a whopping amount of money that most people in most states don't have access to.
Most of my buyers here, they scrape together the money to put, 5-10% down. So there you have it. If you're an immigrant, you want to come to this country, you too can have a piece of the American dream. There's a ton of different loan programs that are out there for you. It just depends on what your immigration status is. Call someone like Sam or myself, and we can help place you with the right loan product.
All right, so we went over every different type of loan available to you if you have a green card, if you're a dreamer, if you're an ITIN holder, if you're an asylum seeker. We broke down what products are available to you and how you can get that home. We also showed you some videos of some down payment assistance programs that are available. If you haven't done so already, now's the perfect time to hit that subscribe button below. I'm going to put a link on the screen to the video we did last week about Stand Your Ground. Make sure you check that out. That pretty much does it for me, Mark. What do you say?
Dude, I think we're out, man. Until next time.